From the National Newsroom of the Canadian Press, I'm Jason White. Residents of Tumbler Ridge, BC have made their way to their church's first Sunday services since last week's shootings. An invisible thread connected the worshippers with another community some 14,000 kilometers away in Zambia. That's where the life of 12-year-old shooting victim Abel Mwansa Jr. was honored in his family's former hometown. Canada has officially signed on to a massive European defense procurement program. Canada is the first non-European nation to join SAFE, a €150 billion initiative. Canada-U.S. Trade Minister Dominic LeBlanc is spending the week in Mexico, talking trade.
LeBlanc's delegation includes hundreds of delegates representing Canadian businesses, industry associations, and partners from across the country. The mission comes as Ottawa looks to diversify its trade links in response to Donald Trump's tariffs and threats to abandon critical Continental Trade Pact CUSMA. LeBlanc is set to play a key role in the upcoming review of the Canada-U.S.-Mexico Agreement on Trade, which has shielded both countries from the worst impacts of Trump's tariffs. Trump has called the trade agreement irrelevant and said it may have served its purpose. Naira Ahmed, The Canadian Press.
British Columbia's finance minister thinks she'll be the least popular person in BC after she tables Tuesday's provincial budget. Current figures are forecasting a deficit of $11.2 billion. But Canadian Centre for Policy Alternatives senior economist Mark Lee says the numbers don't justify widespread cuts.
Yes, we have seen some increase in debt the past couple years, but BC remains with a very enviable position, like relative to any other province in Canada, except for Alberta. If you just look at the straight up numbers of debt relative to GDP.
The BC Conservatives finance critic says the minister's comment raises the question of how government has spent money while failing to deliver improved services. A new possible lead in the investigation into the disappearance of Today Show host Savannah Guthrie's mother. A latex glove found along a roadside might yield clues, or might be ruled out as roadside trash.
The FBI is telling ABC News investigators lifted DNA of an unknown male profile from a glove found along roadside brush about 2 miles away from Nancy Guthrie's home here in Pima County. The glove appears generically similar to the kind of gloves that were worn by a man caught on Guthrie's doorbell camera. The FBI saying 16 gloves have been recovered as they've been searching all around Pima County, but most were discarded by search and rescue team members or investigators who were out looking for Guthrie. The one glove with unknown male DNA was sent to a lab in Florida. The FBI wants to put it into its DNA database to see if they get a hit. Alex Stone, ABC News, Tucson, Arizona.
This is the Canadian Press. In sports, Connor McDavid, Sidney Crosby, and Mark Stone had a goal and 2 assists each as Canada's men's hockey team thumped France 10-2. The Canadians finished with a perfect record in the preliminary round at the Milan Cortina Olympics. Canadian snowboarder Mark McMorris wasted little time showing he was back from a nasty crash during training. The 32-year-old from Regina booked his ticket to the slopestyle Olympics final in impressive fashion, finishing third in qualifying. The final will be held Wednesday. The curling controversy at the Winter Olympics has widened. Increased surveillance of the matches has resulted in the removal of a stone thrown by the British men's team for the same alleged violation that burned the Canadians 2 days in a row. Canada's Leila Fernandez has upset 13th-seeded Ludmila Samsonova of Russia in women's singles tennis opening round action at the Dubai Championships. And the NBA All-Star Game is underway in Los Angeles. From the Canadian Press, I'm Jason White.
Thanks for listening. Don't forget to follow and subscribe. For more of today's top stories, visit thecanadianpressnews.ca.